What is going on, guys? Matt O'Leary here with another video. We are almost 24 hours away from the 2025 NFL Draft, and it's rumor season in full swing. So today I wanted to get into two stories that are obviously New York Jets related and draft related, kind of going in two different scenarios. So we'll start with Peter Schrager, who in my opinion is one of the most accurate NFL insiders. He's very good with the NFL draft, really knowledgeable, recently made the jump from NFL Network to ESPN. Big fan of his work, but he put out his one and only mock draft, so obviously people's eyes flocked to that today, and he has the New York Jets taking Tyler Warren, and he said that he's been hearing that for weeks that Tyler Warren is going to be the pick for the New York Jets. Does that mean it's guaranteed to be Tyler Warren? No. As we know, the draft is a total crapshoot. We don't know how it's going to fall. But as I said, I put some stock into what Peter Schrager has to say. I think it's something we should look at. And for me, we've talked about these guys for months. You should know how I feel about Tyler Warren. I would be very excited if this was the pick for the New York Jets. I think he fits the offense to a T. I think he really helps the Jets as both a pass catcher and in the run game. The offense that the Jets are likely to run under Tanner Engstrand will feature the tight end significantly more than the last version of the New York Jets offense did, whether it be in the passing game or in the running game. And if you have a rookie offensive tackle or a tackle who's, if they decide not to go tackle in the first round, right, because you're taking Tyler Warren, let's say a rookie day two guy starting at right tackle, well, Tyler Warren's going to be able to help out blocking. You just pin him on his right hip, kind of like what the Jets did with Tyler Conklin and Morgan Moses last year against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that worked wonders for them in that game because they weren't going to let TJ Watt ruin the game for the Jets. And guess what? I know they didn't win the game, but they held TJ Watt in check. So that's a approach they could take if they decide to go that route in the NFL draft, and how to mitigate some potential issues in year one for a rookie starter. The second thing, Todd McShay on his podcast says the Jets are going to be going defense.
But if you're a Jets fan, like what I'm telling you is Warren is in play, but it's much more likely at this point, based off my information, that it's going to be a defensive player. I have not had the conversation about Mason Graham, but Mason Graham was not maybe expected to be there, okay? So don't rule him out. What we're also telling you is we got some edge rushers here, starting with Mikel. I don't think it's going to be Shamar Stewart, okay?
Okay.
For other organizations, yes. I don't think with this one.
Okay. Could you see a Mike Green? They've gone with Smollett.
No, not at this point. I think it's Mikel. Honestly, I think edge is in play because Jalen Walker could fall to them.
Okay.
And I think the expectation, because everyone in the world, remember the conversation I had? Stop with the narrow-minded thinking. Start thinking outside the box.
Right.
Don't be like the rest of them, said the GM to me.
Mm-hmm.
But it also could be.
I can roll with that.
I don't think. I think it would be Walker if he's there. I think Graham would be in play. I think Tyler Warren would be in play. But let's give him Jade.
It doesn't feel like Warren, does it?
I know they really like him, but it doesn't feel like Warren.
Okay.
Just like the Liam Cohen in Jacksonville. They really like Mason Graham. It would make sense, but it doesn't feel like that's
right.
the way it's going. Okay.
Okay. If the New York Jets go defense, that is not my preferred route. I would much rather Armand Membu or Tyler Warren. But if the Jets are going to go defense, I hope it's Mason Graham. Why? I think he's a top 5 player in this draft. I think he's by far the best defensive lineman in this class, which is obviously important. And I know some people are going to go, oh, well, isn't he a little bit redundant to Quinnen Williams? I don't personally see it that way. I think they could both work very well together as interior pass rushers in this offense. I'm sure edge is possible, and there's some edge guys that are interesting to me, but Shamar Stewart, I think, is a project. Michael Williams is a project. Shamar Stewart's a lot of projection, right? He has a lot of the raw traits, but hasn't put the production with that to back it up. Is it possible that it eventually comes? Yes, because he's a freak athlete and has racked up some pretty nice pressure numbers, but just hasn't been able to convert them to sacks at the college level. Sure, but that's a little risky to me, and I think there are better options than the guys like that for the Jets. And then the one that I really don't get, and I'm not buying, I'm going to say smokescreen on this, is if the Jets were to draft a corner. Jahdae Barron's been the flavor of the week this week, or even a Will Johnson or someone like that. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me when you have Sauce Gardner, you paid Michael Carter, you just signed another corner in free agency, and then are going to draft a corner in the first round. I don't buy it. That one's not passing the sniff test to me. So of course it's possible the Jets go defense, but if they do, I hope it's Mason Graham. And if not, well, we might have an interesting reaction on draft night over on Talkin' Jets. So if you don't know, if you're living under a rock, we will be live streaming all 3 days over on Talkin' Jets. Myself, Ryan, and Green Bean. Make sure to come hang out with us for all 3 days of the NFL draft. That's going to do it for me in this video. I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll catch you next time.